Welcome back to another episode of Idology. I'm here with season 6 standout Melinda Doolittle, and we're going to talk about how American Idol went from 42 contestants down to 24. I think there's a lot we could complain about. Too much Randy talking.
We try and raise the bar every year. The bar's definitely raised this year.
Too much desperate crying. No black women in the top 24, except for the one inside of Adam Brock.
There's a large black woman trapped inside of my body.
But I think we should probably dispense with the negatives and get to who we are excited about from this top 24. We talked a little bit beforehand about trying to narrow it down to our 3 favorites, and it's really hard this season.
There are so many amazing singers, and I just can't wait to see how it kind of unfolds on the live shows, because they're going to be hit with a lot.
Haley Johnson.
Yeah, well, it's true that I was made for you.
Holly Kavanaugh, who I'm sure I'm gonna like based on the tiny snippets of singing we've gotten from her, but I need more information before I can put her right at the top.
You're 17 years old. In a year or two, I feel like, honestly, Holly, you could come back and win. Win the whole thing.
Just a fool to believe you can change the world.
Skylar Lane I'm liking.
Don't let me down now, your mama's gonna move you uptown.
Jen Hirsch.
Just an old sweet song keeps on my mind.
Colton Dixon.
It's history, telling her face and
There are so many I absolutely loved. I hate that I'm having to narrow it down to 3 right now.
I think the person I'm most excited about at this point is Jessica Sanchez. One reader on TV Line called her the anti-Thea Magia. To me, she's more reminiscent of Jennifer Hudson back when she still had a little bit crazy eye and some styling issues. That's what I'm getting from Jessica. And when she did The Prayer, I was just mesmerized and devastated and excited.
guide us with your grace.
And I know the performance was a little bit too much with the vibrato and a little bit too much with the histrionics. I just didn't care.
Ponytail and all, I love her. So I'm with you on her. My first one, though, has to be DeAndre. Like, I keep telling myself, Melinda, he's not even legal. So you can't, but I don't think it's fair because he's not legal, but he sings like that.
I know you got a little life in your life.
Some people that have the great falsetto don't have a great chest voice or vice versa, and he has both.
Should be hoping, but I can't stop thinking and thinking and thinking.
He went kind of seamlessly in between both of them, and that's hard to do.
I happen to like another of the teenage guy contestants, Jeremy Rosado, and I know part of it is fueled by the fact that he's such a nice boy.
It's a nice kid right there.
But I loved that last note that he held. He held that note the way J-Lo and Randy would wrestle over their last bit of musical relevance. He just wouldn't let go of it. I think he might be like a sleeper contestant.
He might be. It was absolutely phenomenal. I will say I was a little distracted by his yellow tongue, and I have been in most of his performances. So I'm not sure if that's an issue that he has or if he just really eats a lot of Jolly Ranchers.
Now, you had another lady you liked, another soulful rock type chick.
I do, Miss Elise Testone.
I've worked really, really hard, gigging out constantly, sometimes 10 gigs a week.
I love that girl. Every time she opens her mouth, the grit and the tone and everything about it, just her choices.
This is a man's world.
Her face, the way she feels every word that she sings, I am enamored by her.
Good taste picking This Is a Man's World. A lot of times, seeing which songs people pick at this stage in the competition when they still have some control over what they're picking tells you a lot. And it's like, that's a good song choice. And I agree, she makes the right faces, which, you know, someone like Creighton Fracker should watch the faces that Elise makes and maybe try and figure something else out to do with his face while he's singing. And then I think one person we both agree on, I'm very nervous about what he's gonna do in the live shows, but I'm more excited than nervous for Joshua Leday. And we talked about him last week, and I brought up the term Lusky Stank.
Why?
And I'm gonna bring it up again.
Why?
We got some amens and some hallelujahs.
Why?
And I'm just praying that that last performance of his that we saw of Up to the Mountain, where he showed a lot of restraint, he held it in the end and just sort of finessed that song. I'm hoping that that is the Joshua we see.
You love me so.
I believe in him. He can do this. He can do this. I know that he can. I will hunt him down on Twitter if he doesn't.
So Melinda, I think we've got a really strong top 24. There's always a few that sneak in, and I'm always wondering, like, do the producers let in a couple of wonky singers just so we've got something to laugh about, or just because it would be too painful if all these great people went home early on? You've got to have a couple people you can feel okay about getting cut. But for me, they're like two bookends of the same problem. Creighton Fracker, he hacked up a hairball at the end of that song. He was like New York State of... And then there's Reed Grimm.
What?
And I don't know. Like, I don't want to see you scatting and playing the drum and singing It Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
You didn't like it?
Part of the problem is Ryan introduces him as colorful character, Reed Grimm, or quirky charm. And then they're like,
now Reed is in your hands, America.
Someone pass me the Purell because I don't want that in my hands. Like, I want to clean that off.
Well, I actually liked his last performance. I liked It Don't Mean a Thing. I thought it was very innovative. I liked when he scatted while he was playing the drums. And I kind of like the drums for him. They're kind of a good look to me because then he can't move the rest of himself. So
I'll give you that.
I was okay with that. I would probably have to say my person would be sweet little Eben. And let me just say this, he has a really pretty voice. I just think he needs more time. I was more for David Leathers when it was between the two of them. His voice kind of quivers for me. There's just this immaturity about it that I just think it needs a little more time.
Can't you see?
I had the hardest time watching him walk behind David Leathers.
I know.
And be like, yeah, while David's like bawling and trying to keep it together. And thank you guys, thanks so much. A little bit more maturity would have made him just kind of rein it in just a little bit.
Your alleged idol BFF is walking directly in front of you. You know, maybe go up and put an arm around him and be like, you're awesome.
You're so talented.
I agree. It was 1-800 too much. So Melinda, we're gonna hit a couple quick topics. Any cuts this week that upset you?
Lauren Gray for me was probably the most upsetting cut. I don't understand what happened and it kind of makes me sad.
We really want you to come back. I'll consider it.
I really do hope that she comes back next season because I feel like she has raw talent that's pretty amazing, but she probably could grow a little bit. I think if she learns a little bit more how to use that voice and works on her dynamics a little bit, she could be a real contender as opposed to somebody whose best chance is maybe to finish 10th or 11th, which I kind of feel like she was this season. For me, I was most upset about Ashley Altice, what happened to her, where is the Joy Hop, and Candace Glover. And that brings me to the other subject that I wanted to bring up, the dramatic twist, which was about as dramatic as J-Lo bringing out another pair of culottes to wear. They bring back these 4 guys because it was clear that they wanted to add something to get a little more buzz going just in case they needed some more buzz. And Nigel was like, oh, I love how they brought back Melanie Amaro, so let's bring back 4 random dudes. It didn't feel like a dramatic twist. It felt like a random twist. It felt like a copycat twist. I don't really understand why they picked 4 guys. When it seems like they cut a lot more strong women this season.
If they were gonna do that for the boys, they should have done it for the girls too. I really feel like it's gonna be Johnny Kaiser that comes back. I think he was the only one out of the 4 that made it not really fair to me because the other 3 had been through the entire process.
Which one of these is not like the other? We're bringing back 3 people who had to perform by the giant bubbling alien pool and then 1 random dude who was in a hot tub the last time we saw him.
So many groups that are just stressed out right now and we're just sitting in a hot tub chilling.
I haven't forgotten that he was singing when that girl dropped and continued to sing.
The last chance.
If he does make the live shows, his intro package should be like, why I continued to sing when the girl might have died.
I hear that Ryan did tell them backstage to keep singing no matter what happened. I just don't know that that's what he meant, is all. That's all I'm gonna say about that.